but not a lot of people will sign up to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I really feel like everyone should, because that helps you determine, you know, who are you in the face of adversity?
Yeah, so
How are you going to respond? And I think
Right.
that's a huge thing that has sort of bled over into like my life outside of the gym. And just realizing, I guess, the capacity and potential that I do have. So that's been something that's super powerful that I'm grateful for.
wonderful. If anybody should do anything, they should meditate. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because that's your time to turn your brain off and just give yourself what you need and not worry about what this world needs from
Yeah.
you. Hey, welcome to Top Team Talks. I'm Brandy Powell. I'm your host for today. I want to welcome my guest, Cassandra Eng. She's a student here at ATT. If you don't know, I've been fighting with ATT for a while. I'm an MMA fighter. Most of my history is in Muay Thai. I have like 2 years. No, I have a lot of years. But in Muay Thai, but I've been doing MMA for about a year. And Cassandra and I are just going to chop it up about wellness and about you know, why we chose to do combat sports. And I love that you're here too, Cassie, because I think you're a wonderful representation of what it's like to be in combat sports and not look angry all the time, you know what I'm saying? I think people think like when you're a successful fighter, you have to look like a successful fighter, you know what I'm saying? Maybe angry all the time or whatever, but I love that you represent some key values that I love as far as being family oriented, having an open heart, empathy, being willing to socialize with everybody like a family, you know, be mindful of what you eat, what you drink, like that all exudes from who you are. And then even spirituality to me exudes and resonates with you. So I just love that you're here. Because I think all of those, oh, you're very welcome. You're so beautiful. I think all of those qualities transition into being a good fighter. You know what I mean? So first, tell me where you're from. Tell me your background.
Yeah, so my name's Cassandra, and I started at ATT about 3 months ago. So I was born in China, an international adoptee. I grew up in Texas, and then I moved to Georgia about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what part of Texas? Since
San
Texas is huge.
Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, San Antonio, Texas.
Awesome. Yeah, my mom was born and raised in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas is huge. So, you said that you're an adoptee coming in, and I know that we've had conversations on this, and you just say pineapples or something when you want me to shut up. But how does that connect with you? Even recently with the training that we've done, how has that been connecting with you, your family, right? I know, like with me in fighting, my mom was my first coach, right? I think I've shared that with you. She made me at 2.5 years old, and I have a trophy for anybody who wants to see proof that 2.5-year-old ran a freaking 5K. She was my first coach. I had no option. Mommy I wasn't getting picked up. You're running the race. You know what I'm saying? And of course, at 2.5 years old, I'm crying and my body's hurting, I guess. You know, but I ran. And I remember crossing the finish line. It felt so good. You know what I mean? And then we trained with her brother, my Uncle Fernando. And I mean, that's in me forever. And so I wonder for you, not having that same story, how do you bring that into combat or all of your hopes and aspirations in combat fighting?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say that for me, I guess something that I lacked in my childhood and like growing up was sort of, I guess, like that training sort of feeling. I didn't really have people that believed in me and pushed me to aspire to that. I mean, I did team sports. I played basketball my entire childhood and in college, but besides that and a few coaches here and there, I didn't have that like people, I guess, I know are behind me and who make me want to be better. So I feel like that is something that I missed out on. And I know I just joined this gym about 3 months ago, but it's really that type of community that I didn't have, I'm finding here. And how that translates, I guess, to me as a fighter and as an individual is I feel like I'm building my confidence, something that I should have, growing up, and something that I didn't really have the tools, I guess. But now that I am in a place where I'm surrounded by people who want me to be my best, who know how to get me there, that's starting to internalize in the best way so that I want that for myself and I know how to get that. So I would say, I guess, now I'm in a place that I can achieve that as a fighter, as a human, in all aspects of my life, but also still having that chip on my shoulder, and knowing that, I guess, since I didn't come from that, now I want it even more.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I have a few questions from what you said.
Ask away.
So, American Top Team Sandy Springs is that. Like we were just talking about that, like how grateful we are that we have an environment that even with some of our insecurities, we can trust our teammates and say, hey man, I'm feeling insecure about this. Like, what do you think? And they're like, bro, like, we know, like, please, like what? You knew, oh my God. And they just love you and they, and they can pick on you, but we don't take it personal, or they just, they reconfirm that it doesn't matter here. And it really doesn't, it shows. And it's like church away from church, it's home away from home, it's family away from family,
Absolutely.
But I do know, right, that and you can expand on this, I do know that part of your motivation, I'm assuming, is your culture.
Yes.
Like I've seen you in your Instagram pages and you are tapped in.
Yes.
So in combat fighting, what is your background?
Yeah, so how I got into combat sports in general, I guess. So I, like you said, I really wanted to get in touch with my culture from China, so Chinese. And so I actually looked for a traditional kung fu sort of dojo, I guess, and I found one in Atlanta, and I realized they also did kickboxing there, and I didn't know that kickboxing was part of kung fu, but that's actually the application of it. And so once I started doing that, something switched in me, and I said, this is, like, I want to get good at this. This is something I'm passionate about, something that I can feel at peace. And so, yes, I got that cultural aspect for sure at the Kung Fu place, but I was like, I need to go somewhere that trains specifically for this combat. So that's how I found ATT, and just knowing that Muay Thai is also just a lot more popular and you have more opportunities. So that's something for sure. But I mean, I still feel like I want to tap into that culture aspect, but it's a different sense of like culture here too.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's like that community, like you said.
Right, but you bring your whole self to,
for sure.
to the gym. You do. You're very authentic. One of my mentors says organic, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely see your culture. And I definitely see this as a good fit for you, you know what I mean? Because you bring all of you, all of who you are, all of your experiences. And we can talk about that some more if you want to, but I love that about you. So you said you started there, and then now you're here, and now that you started with AT&T, on top of it being family and everything like that, how are you liking Muay Thai?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I also train, obviously, with you.
Right.
And like just being personally trained by you has changed my life drastically. Just from everything from getting like mental health right, getting tapped in, like spiritually, emotionally, everything. I didn't realize how much of a part that is of being a fighter, and also, like you said, showing up as a human.
Yeah.
So really, I feel like that's something that I love about combat sports is the
Yeah.
capacity to show up as your entire self.
Yeah.
And that's something I've definitely learned from you. But yeah, Muay Thai is great. I love being encouraged by my teammates and
Yeah.
just learning so much, and also just seeing how much I could push myself. I think that's something that's huge. But yeah, what about you? How do you, how did you
You
get
know
into
me.
Muay Thai? And
Well, I got into Muay Thai just because, growing up from knee high, if you've met my youngest daughter, she's the most like me as far as just being mean for no reason. She just goes to my other kids and pap right upside the head for like no reason. They're just walking by. But that's how I was growing up, and I was around boys, so if they came around me, I'm just like, you're about to get it for no reason. Just too close,
Yeah.
and I just loved it. That's just my form of playing. I got in trouble every day by my mom. She's like, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's just how I was. And when I came to Atlanta, pursuing music, but I became a lifeguard, to get a steady income, and I moved up in the ranks and became a manager right away, and I'd rough up the boys that I was over and rough up, anybody messing with them or whatever. And so I ended up meeting one of the seniors. I worked at a senior pool, and he saw me rough up a boy, told me I needed to start fighting basically. And so I started, and it just clicked right away. Like, I always wanted to fight. I wanted to box. I wanted to wrestle. I tried to sneak into wrestling practice, and they were like, your daddy already said you can't wrestle. He already called us. I'm like, God, so I couldn't do it in high school. And so I just felt like it was scary. Like, I definitely remember what it was like starting. That's why I'm like, look, you're doing fantastic. Way beyond what I was doing when I first started. It's very scary. I took 6 months at least to just do kickboxing. And then I started slowly getting into sparring in Muay Thai, and my coach pulled me out. He said, all you do is kick. That's all you do. So now you're just gonna take boxing for 6 months. And I had the best boxing coach. And he was more like, he got my speed top notch. And he kind of taught me about like taking time to get your mental health right as well, And we had great dialogue. And so it just built up like my confidence, that I was like, had all these great people in my corner, And then when you fight, you see it works,
Yeah.
but I slowly transitioned into feeling so at home, so at peace. Like, and people who see me here and see me outside of here, totally two different people. Because I feel like when I'm sparring, I could be myself.
Yeah.
Like, finally, nobody's telling me to sit up and act like a girl. Like,
Yeah.
close your legs, or don't be so loud, or just
Yeah.
all the stuff we hear. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? To be a girl. I am a girl. Hello.
Yeah.
What does
Yeah.
it mean, to be
Yeah.
a girl? Me hitting this guy is not being a girl?
Right.
I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, it's different, and I just felt like my whole life growing up, I was being told who I was. And I was so adamant, and I get to define who I am, me,
Period.
no matter what. No matter what, I get to define who I am, right? And this is who I am. So when I'm sparring and we're having fun, I'm like, I get this high because I'm like, oh, this is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
I just got hit in the face. It was great.
Yeah, I love that.
But so that's how I got to be where I am, and
Yeah. How do you feel like it's like changed your life, I guess, outside of sparring or outside of fighting?
I think it gives me like confidence. Like I'm not saying when I'm out on the street, my head's not on a swivel. My head is on a swivel.
For sure. Yeah.
But I definitely have confidence to de-escalate situations, and if they don't de-escalate, I feel like I can keep myself safe. So it kind of helps to keep a level head if anything goes left.
That's great.
I think being in any sport is going to teach you how to be a leader. I think the world still needs to continue to develop, to create a space for girls, you know what I'm saying? So that they don't try to tell us how we're supposed to be, right? That's why I tell you, listen, I'm going to give you all the crayons. This is red, this is green, this is purple, blue. No matter where you go, this is going to be yellow, this is going to be blue, this is going to be purple. Draw what you want to draw. I'm not going to come correct your art.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you draw this line this way, okay, now it's an airplane.
Yeah.
Right? At first it was a box.
Yeah.
It's an airplane now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you have to be, I think, when you're when in life and when you're sparring. And I think it's helped me be like an overall better person. You know what I'm saying? To keep things moving. We mess up.
For sure.
But it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
We're just we're developing into who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's definitely made me more resilient. And I love that I feel like I know myself more. Because now it's like, I mean, obviously I faced adversity, but not a lot of people will sign up to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I really feel like everyone should, because that helps you determine, you know, who are you in the face of adversity?
Yeah, still.
How are you going to respond? And I think that's a huge thing that has sort of bled over into like my life outside of the gym. And just realizing, I guess, the capacity and potential that I do have. So that's been something that's super powerful that I'm grateful for.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely see that. And just to give the audience some background on us, we take time, not every time, but we definitely have had some good meditations sessions, you know what I'm saying? And I think that gives us an opportunity to, if not, like I told you, the only opportunity to where we can close our eyes and immediately tap into who we are, right?
Absolutely.
And I think this takes time. You know, I think if you're new to meditation, like 2 minutes feels like torture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you really commit to the process of meditation, the instant you close your eyes, you're zoned into your breath, you're zoned into your heartbeat, and something physically gave you that heartbeat. You know, your parents, and even your grandparents. And I didn't really know my grandparents, you know, but I feel them all of a sudden. And I think that transitions into fighting. Like, I still don't know if I have anybody else in my family outside of my Uncle Ron on my mom's side who just loves combat fighting. But I know it's got to be in there. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely feel like when we take those times to meditate, you're completely different.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it for sure. We started meditating I think 5 times now,
maybe,
before our sessions, and after when we have, you know, training.
Yeah.
I just feel a lot more grounded, a lot more present, a lot more aware.
Yeah.
And things like, we don't even meditate about fighting, you know, we meditate about
we don't.
we meditate about the, you know,
we can,
how
you know,
we,
I've seen those sessions, those are great too,
yeah,
right?
absolutely,
right?
Yeah. But it's, you know, I just feel connected in every aspect of my life, and I feel tapped in, and that's just a great feeling, to have your mental space and your heart and also your physical start to align. And I think that's has been a great thing, adding that meditation before training. I should do it more often.
Listen, I should do it more often too. But I don't. But you know what I do love about that in our meditation is, yes, it's great for mental health. Yes, it's great for grounding. Yes, it's great for receiving, spirituality. Like, we have a lot of wonderful, if anybody should do anything, they should meditate. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because that's your time to turn your brain off and just give yourself what you need and not worry about what this world needs from you. You know what I'm saying? But one aspect that I love about ours, that the vulnerability that comes from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I be crying.
Me too, man.
I stay crying.
Me too. I think I've cried on one of our sessions, but I love that you trust me to be vulnerable around me. and that I'm able to hold space for you and not need to know the details of what's going on. And I don't try to say, oh, you okay? Let me give you a hug. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about just holding space for you to be, for as long as you need to be.
Absolutely.
Cry. I ain't got nowhere to go. You know, I got a lot of places to go. But I have nowhere to go. Because that's what it's like when we train together. That's the type of commitment you give to your teammates. You need, if you sign up for this, you need to be willing to commit like that. Because you're really trusting me with your life.
Yeah.
With my size and your size and my power, you really trust me with your life. You know what I mean?
know it.
And vice versa. Right? Don't let Ron